Yo, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Good to see you again, and we've got some matches from Wednesday local night, and we're playing up against my man Trevor here. He actually has his own YouTube channel, the Broken TCG, so please go and shoot him some love, check him out, drop him a sub, and if you are a fan of the Dragon Ball Super card game, he's actually going to be big into the Fusion World that is going to be coming out in February. So if you're looking for some content on that next Bandai game, definitely check out his channel, show him some love. But yeah, we've got Sakazuki versus Enel here, and let me tell you, Enel is a matchup. Hate to see it, but you know what? I've been slowly getting a lot more comfortable with this matchup, and this is a little bit surprising, but I do start off by actually cycling out a Rob Lucci early on. I think that my hand was looking pretty good with removal. I just wanted to see a little bit extra, you know, different cards into my hand, and also prepare myself for, you know, having the Rob Lucci I already have take care of some business. But he does pick up Holly here, getting that dog, and if he finds Ohm, it's going to be very inconvenient to deal with. We are on the odd curve as well, so just going first and being on odds is not terrible in this matchup, but it isn't always where I want to be. It just kind of depends, and I will go ahead and go 6k here, lowering down the Shura to a 1 cost. He does get the Kotori and trashes a Soul Pocus. So Soul Pocus has been a card that I've definitely been seeing you know, as of recent, added into a lot of these Enel lists, and I don't know personally how I feel about it. I don't really mind playing against it all too much, but I don't play Enel, so I can't really speak to how well that card does in the matchup. But if you do play the deck yourself, maybe you guys can let me know how that card does here. And he is going to give me a 5k to life. I'm definitely going to take this. I always like to take the first life for sure, just because first life for me means that I can put down Kuzan without threat of it being Gidatsu the next turn, and I just don't want to have that happen. So first life, sometimes even second life in the Enel matchup are pretty free for me. It just kind of depends on what the cards in my hand are. And now it looks as though we have quite a lot of removal. I'm probably considering doing a Lucci play here and getting rid of Satori. However, I know that I had already trashed Ice Age, which is a little unfortunate. I would have liked to have kept Ice Age in this situation and like guarantee getting rid of everything, but it actually ends up working out. We swing 5 into Satori and he does let it go. I will bring down Holly as well, or excuse me, Holly here, and then we can play down the Lucci, getting rid of both. Get some of those cards back into the bottom of the deck. Just gonna choose a lot of the events here. I think I end up picking up Lucci as well, which I thought was not the greatest play. I think I maybe should have just went with the Borsellino blocker there. I think potentially getting that Lucci back could be really nice. But I'll go ahead and cycle out my Kobe. Getting that into trash does bring it online for me, so I'm very happy having that in trash. And 6k poke here from my opponent. I am just going to take this because I know that he's only got 5 Dawn to work with, so I'm not in a threat of Gidatsu here. If he does Gidatsu me, then Brand New's just going to take a slight L, but I'm not super worried about it. Now going up to 7, I would love to have a 7-cost Borsellino here. I don't think we have it in hand at the moment, if I'm not mistaken, but I am just going to go 5, lowering down Satori to 4. Luckily, no trigger this time, so we did dodge a bit of a bullet, having to get rid of quite a lot potentially in his hand. But the 6k swing is going to get countered out with Capone Bej. I'm always happy when my opponent uses that card to counter out of an attack, because personally for me, I'm sitting here like, heck yes, I finally got rid of, you know, potentially you getting that in life. So it makes me happy a little bit. But brand new, I actually didn't see what it picked up, but it looks as though I did trash a Rob Lucci and a Hina. And I'll just go ahead and throw down the Sabo. I'm thinking about what cards I want to trash. I know that I was looking to try and pick up particular cards for this matchup, but I do go ahead and trash a Rebecca and a Great Eruption. I know that seems a little odd because those are pretty fantastic cards, but I did like the way that my hand was set up, and I knew that this turn, depending on what he did, you know, we could be in a bit of a situation, but 5k swing, I will go ahead and counter out, and now that 8 cost Katakuri is going to actually bounce back Satori to life for himself. I thought potentially he might get rid of my Sabo because it can be a pretty annoying card in this matchup. You know, he can use Thunderbolt, but I actually do have the Isho in hand, and this has been a really interesting card for me over the past couple of days. I have loved and I've hated it. I do go ahead and do the 6k swing. It does get him to take a card, so I'm very happy about that. It brings him up to 6 in hand, and now I can play Isho very comfortably. And so I'm going to get 2 out of his hand real fast. But also, yeah, I love that. I actually really like the Isho in this matchup. It's just, I have learned that the dedication of one Dawn onto the character is kind of inconvenient sometimes. And surprisingly, I actually choose to get rid of a Houndblaze here in favor of picking up a 7-cost Borsellino. This does allow him to get up to the 10 Dawn spot, though. He's still got Katakuri to work with. Could potentially see another Katakuri coming down, even a Yamato. Yamato here would KO either my Rob Lucci or one of the brand news, obviously, though, going for Lucci in this spot. So he's thinking about whether he wants to swing with that 5, though. He could just play Yamato, which he does. Yep, gets rid of the Lucci. No longer protected by Sabo effect here, and then just going to go a 6k to life. I don't believe I had any 2ks in my hand at this point, so I could just rest the Sabo, but I'm like, if I do that, he might attack my life again with 8k with Katakuri. So I decided to take this one and then block if he does attack with Katakuri, but he actually doesn't, which does surprise me a little bit. I'm like, okay, he's not like overextending here. He knows that I have you know, a character that is going to be able to get rid of Katakuri the following turn as well. Not attacking with it is pretty smart. It does stop me from, you know, being able to get rid of both of them in an easier fashion. There is still a way that I can get rid of both of them, and I'm actually going to attempt that this turn. But using Isho, I do put the 3 dice down, or excuse me, the 1 dice with the 3 on it down, just so that I can, you know, note to myself, like, okay, both of these are down 3, and I still got to get them low enough to where I will be able to remove them off the board. I don't believe I had a Lucci in hand because sadly I just lost one to Yamato, and I don't think I can get it back while also reducing them. But I also have trashed one at the very beginning of the game. However, I do have 2 Houndblazes, if I'm not mistaken. I think that I saw 2 Houndblazes in the hand, and I'm gonna go ahead and get the Great Eruption down. I'm just deciding which character it's gonna go on. We do decide to put it onto the 8-cost Katakuri. So now this character is a 3-cost character at the moment. I am gonna swing 5 into lead as well, bringing down Katakuri to a 2-cost. So automatically he knows that Houndblaze is coming. Gonna go 5. He does counter out of this one, though. I do have to save 2 for the Houndblaze, but I also want to get Yamato down enough as well. It looks as though we have it. If we use the 3-cost Hina, I could just use Hina here. And, oh, interesting. I'm going to play Rebecca. Do I have the Dawn for this? Actually, yeah, I do. I do have the Dawn for this. It's just maybe not exactly how I wanted this to play out, because now I have to replace the brand new, one of the brand news with Hina. And yeah, that's going to bring Yamato down to a 2-cost as well. And now all I got to do is use those Houndblazes. I'll use 1 Houndblaze onto the Yamato. pumping up Isho doesn't really matter. I don't even think I'm swinging with it this turn, if I'm being honest with you. And then I'm pumping up brand new. Oh, and actually I decided to move it over. Yeah, I just put both of them on brand new. And I do actually attack with this, so I'm gonna go 9k into life. I think I probably should have just waited. It's not a huge deal, but I just didn't want to give him... I think it would have been better if I didn't give him another Yamato play, like another valuable Yamato play. But I do, and he has it. So he gets to heal another one, and yeah, it does get the KO on the brand new. So all in all, I think I probably should have just left him at 2 life the turn prior. But we do have enough swings. If we wanted to try and go for a Hail Mary here, I think that would be the most insane idea ever. But I think realistically, I'm just going to keep trying to remove his board. I'm going to keep the one on Isho. Oh, I trash a Lucci. Ooh, trash and a Lucci. But one onto Isho does bring that Yamato down to a 6 cost. And I guess I could use my 3 cost Tashigi that we just picked up to lower it down to a 5, or excuse me, a 4. And then the 7 cost Borsalino. I'm not sure if that's the route that I'm really trying to go for here, but I do force out a 2k counter out of his hand here. Pretty happy about it. And this is definitely just going to be a free card, so Isho does get the swing. Luckily, no trigger, though. And I had been expecting to see some Thunderbolts, potentially some other cards as well. But I will just play the Rebecca and actually just pass. I think we could have gotten rid of Yamato if we really wanted to here, but I wasn't too worried about it. I didn't really want to get the counter power so much out of hand in case he had Amaru or potentially Thunderbolt here, or a combination of the both, and that would have really sucked. And now I think we're going to see a 6k going into, I believe it was Hina. He might have pointed at life. I do not recall off the top of my head. And now, are we going to see another 9 cost Yamato? If so, luckily for us, it's not going to get the KO value, but it still will get the life value, which is a bit of an issue. I think 8 cost Katakuri was kind of my biggest fear here, was removing the Isho, but I can understand not going for it here, I guess, depending on how much his hand was looking like as far as counter power is concerned. The Yamato does get that good old-fashioned heal off, though. I do end up having to block with Rebecca to keep Hina on the board. I don't know if that was necessarily the play, considering I don't think I even have a Rebecca, but looking at my hand, I don't have many plays, so I just decide to go a really large swing into Yamato. I think I go 15 right there. Just said, like, hey, you got to drop your whole hand if you want to keep it, or you're just going to give it to me. So I get pretty lucky here, and he does end up not having the counter power for it, and I'm like, all right, cool, I'll take that. And now I'll just go ahead and pass. And I thought this was pretty funny. I cycled out a card and got Ice Age, and I was like, oh man, I could have I literally could have used Ice Age and Borsalino that turn, and then just attached the rest to Isho swinging into Yamato, and more than likely got it off the board from him, but potentially leaving it up, I guess it kind of depends. But I did go a little bit of the safer route. I just know that Amaru is definitely a big threat here. Thunderbolt's always a threat, but it's not really that bad in this situation. I am kind of keeping him at bay. I do think that one of these turns would have been nicer for me to leave him at 2 life, but I think in the moment I kind of just forgot about it and was like, all right, you know what? No way he has another Yamato, right? And yeah, he ended up getting the 3 right here. So the run good is there, but we also have to do some ourselves. The 6k is going to get countered out of here if he does choose to go pretty aggressive with the Yamato. I think I'm more than likely just going to block here. Actually, depending on if he goes at life, I actually might just take it. I might just take it so that I have enough, potentially enough swings to go for game the following turn. So he is going to go 9 here. I believe this is at life. Yeah. And I am just kind of going through it in my head. Oh, he decides to go 10. But not like it really changes anything. He was going 10 at life. Arguably, it actually would have been better for him to leave the 1 Dawn up, because that probably would have scared me into believing that he had the 1 cost event El Thor, and that would have, you know, those mind games can be very tricky right there. I think he has maybe 3 or 4 cards in hand at the time, though. We do end up cycling out that Ice Age. I have an opportunity to get rid of one of these, potentially both of these Sanjis if we have a Lucci, but a little unlikely. I do attach the 1 though to Isho just to scare him a little bit. I'm like, if you don't block, I could potentially remove everything you have, and it kind of works. We do get a block, and then we get the removal with Houndblaze here. I have enough Dawn to attach to pretty much everything here and be pretty aggressive. I am just going to swing 7 with the Borsellino, though. We do get a 7 cost Mom out of hand. And now I'll go ahead and go 6 to life with Leader. He is going to give me a 2k for that. I believe leaving him with 2 cards in hand. So I'm just going to go 7 here as well. He does choose to take. And then 9 with Sabo cleaning it up. And yeah, Isho was definitely really clutch for us that match. But I did notice like a lot throughout that match that there were certain instances where I wish I had that extra Dawn, but instead I was having to attach it to Isho. So I do think that that's where it kind of begs the question of, is 10 cost Kuzan the better option? More than likely, yes. But I do really like Isho, and it does feel as though if I see the card, it can really help in the Enel matchup if they see too many Shirahoshi, or in the Whitebeard matchup as well. But let me know your thoughts down below, guys, and I will catch y'all in the next one, okay? Peace.